Hey everyone! On today's episode, we're going to be talking about co-parenting.
Yay!
And today's version of the modern family or traditional family, whatever that means.
I don't think that means anything today. I think we're safe.
Yeah. I know. So for our listeners, we both had blended families.
We do?
Currently, however, I know for me, growing up, it was different. I come from divorced parents. So it was, for me, as growing up, going back and forth, it wasn't common.
Yeah.
For parent or to be going back and forth to mom's
yeah,
house
in that
and
time.
dad's
Yeah,
house.
like in the 80s.
Yeah.
And early, yeah.
Like I was the different kid because I had two houses, and everyone
Right.
was like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!
You
got
got
like,
two Christmases.
birthdays
Oh,
and two
of course.
Christmases," and like, yeah, at first it seemed cool, but then it was also like, you know, as you get older, you're like, oh, like
Yeah.
the two birthdays is kind of like, you know,
You get your parents actually aren't together to celebrate your
right.
birthday.
Well, and
yeah.
that's so it's funny because for my sweet 16, I told my parents, I said, listen, I want one sweet 16 birthday.
Get y'all shit together.
Figure it out. Put your differences aside.
Yeah, for one day.
And focus on your beautiful baby girl.
Yeah, the day Kat was born.
And they did.
Oh, that's
They
awesome.
did. They actually threw me a surprise party.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And
Bravo to them.
It was more or less the surprise that they were in the same building.
Yeah, oh my, 100%. Where you're like, oh my God, like that was a special moment. Like
It was, because it wasn't always easy. I mean, I was in second grade when my parents got divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my
That's
mom.
young.
I remember my mom telling me, she pulled, like I came out, she'd already put me to bed. And I came out, I was probably scared or trying to delay bedtime further.
You needed a sip of water.
Right?
Or is that just our kids? I need a snack. Sorry. Go on.
And she took that moment to tell me, listen, your father and I are gonna be separating.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember all I was concerned about was my bear and what was going to happen to Love a Bear. Love a Bear is my bear. My grandmother gave him to me. He's been my pride and joy. I think I look 40. He looks 40.
I
And,
bet
like,
he
got
does.
hit by a car a couple times.
He looks
too.
like he's been dragged in the mud, stepped on.
He has had some TLC.
Never thought to wash him.
Oh my God, he would break apart.
Oh, shit. It's like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're
No.
my best friend. I don't think I've seen this thing. That'll be, she'll have to show me later, guys. I'll report back. So yeah. So, I mean, obviously you were worried about your bear.
I was like, oh my gosh, what does this mean for my bear? Like, do I lose my bear? And my mom, of course, is like, no.
It can travel back and forth.
You're going to be fine. Like, Love a Bear will go with you. It's just mommy and daddy aren't going to be living together anymore.
Yeah.
And it was tough. I mean, you could definitely tell, like looking as an adult now, looking back, I could tell that both my parents were hurting in their own ways.
Yeah.
And they both had different styles of how they processed that and how they handled it. And it was so unique to be going through a divorced family.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't
When you didn't have other friends that were.
right.
Yeah.
And so they didn't know how to process it for us, and they didn't know how to process it for themselves.
Sure.
And so, you know, I'm sure both of them have their thoughts and what they could have done differently and how they handled it. And again, I don't feel like there's a right or a wrong way, because as humans, we have to process it somehow.
Yeah.
And it's so tough when there's children involved, because
Yes.
you aren't thinking for yourself, you're thinking for them.
Yes. And like there's like a really good quote is, you know, people make decisions in the moment. Like, and that's really the best you can do is
Yeah.
because you can't like see the future. So everything has to be kind of like, unfortunately, either emotionally or knee-jerk kind of reaction to things, which then has its own, you know, space of how, as you know, being a child and, you know what I mean, your brother dealing and coping with all of
Yeah.
those things along the way.
Well,
So
and
yeah.
that's, like, you think it's going to get easier as you get older, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
It becomes more challenging, because as you grow older in your life, you're adding more things into your life, which you're adding them into theirs. And it's just this whole continuation of branches.
Of them being
Going off.
separated. So
Yeah.
you're having like two conversations.
You have to have, well, and that's the thing. You have to have, you know, when the holidays come up, how do you handle Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then it becomes, you know, I'm living down here in Florida. I've got
Yeah.
my mom up in New Hampshire. I've got my dad down here just an hour south of us. Like,
Right.
you think of all those things. And then when you have your significant other, you think about their families,
Right.
you know, and then if you get in a relationship with someone who's just going through the same thing that you are with co-parenting, I mean, then you have to style in. I think there's a movie on it too, like 4 Christmases or something.
Oh, yeah,
with,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Vince Vaughn and
Reese Witherspoon.
and
Yeah.
that's 4 Christmases. They're going to like
Yes.
their
Both divorced
their
parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's such a good like movie and like reference to this is, yeah, I mean, as you and I have talked is like, you know, I grew up with my parents being married till death do them part until he passed away. So it's never been that for me. So I totally understand that. But
and that's why it's probably like it would be different now because in the spectrum of things, like in my blended family, like I can feel for my stepson when he goes back and forth from his mom's house to our house. And there's times where I'm like, that comes with going back and forth between parents.
Yeah.
But then there's other times where I'm like, hey, this is going to mean he's going to have to hold on to a lot more responsibilities at an earlier age than other kids would.
Yeah.
Because there's things that he needs to be thinking through. So it's also like, too, I have less patience with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's like, what's the betterment for,
right?
You know what I mean? Him and that exposure of them being good co-parenting together because of your experience growing up with that entire thing of having 2 sets, 2 homes.
Well, and that's, I mean, the main reason why when there was an opportunity to move over to Clearwater to be closer to where he was living with his mom.
Yeah.
It made complete sense.
Totally.
To do it. So we could be more part of the schedule.
Yes.
Because the back and forth from, 2 cities that are 3 hours away from each other.
I remember the back and forth.
I mean, it's 4 hours of his day and all of our days. And we got to do it every other weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually, with Tyler, I have 3 children, obviously, but for the listeners, and my oldest is actually, from a previous relationship that I was with for quite some time. And his dad lived in Daytona. And when we had Tyler, I lived there and then we separated and moved back. And that commute back and forth, it's not even, it's half than Clearwater it was taxing all in itself to make sure that there was some kind of consistency. And, it's just like a lot. My experience, was different because Ty was like a baby, you know what I mean? When with you and Max and Dee and stuff, it's like very different, at least because he was a little bit older than like a baby, just in my own experience. But it definitely like made a very hard line of what was best. And at that time I was 23 and full of piss and vinegar. So like I am actually should just own the fact that, I probably didn't do it. Well, I didn't do it well then, you know what I mean? Because it's like I just didn't know what I know now. But even with that being said, over the years with, Eddie, Tyler's dad, we have built a good relationship and it's gone through its ups and downs for sure. But I really cherish him and really care about his family. And me and Tyler really always wanted to make sure that the 3 of us could get along. And that's been really important to Tyler through the years, is us being copacetic and civil to each other. As he's gotten older, has made a big difference in a way that was such a trial and error for me because I didn't have any reference point as you have. So even with that, it's been really interesting, even when you and I have conversations, because you give me such a different perspective than I would have normally thought about, because I didn't have any example to follow,
right?
And the friends that I had whose parents were separate, like that wasn't a great example. So like, you know what I mean? That it was just so like polarizingly separate and different. So, it's hard to co-parent. And yeah, you've definitely been a gem in a lot of ways to, give me some reference. And I really deeply, I care for Eddie, and me and, Mike and Eddie do really well to co-parent now. But it's definitely that rocky road to digress to what you're saying is it's the travel. It's trying to make sure that it's for the betterment of the child above all else, you know?
Well, and that's the main focus of it. That's what the adult in those situations the adult should be doing. That should be their main focus. Yeah. You're not doing it for you. This is the one time where you put yourself aside.
Yeah.
And the decision that you make is you make it for the best interest of the children. And I think that's what's helped in our co-parenting situation is, we, once we moved over here and we were closer, we put together a schedule. You try to make it as smooth as a process as you can for the young, the young ones involved, and, trying to explain to Molly why, Max goes over, there and comes here. And, it's having that open communication though.
Yeah. And as you know, me and Mike have 2 children together. So I've had that same experience as well, is his little brothers want to know, why is Tyler leaving? So that he's going to go and spend time with his dad, and that schedule and everything. So so it's, we definitely have some of those. Well, today, very much the same dynamic of things like that. We both have good relationships with, you and Darnell, and co-parenting with her, and me and Mike with, Tyler's dad. So, it takes a long time, I feel like, to work out the kinks. But in fairness, let's not bullshit any listener that is come on now. It's never going to be consistently perfect.
Oh, hell no.
No
way. It wasn't
some
perfect
annoying
for me
ass
growing
shit.
up. There were times my parents didn't speak to each other.
Oh my
and
God.
would use us as the communication piece back and forth. And again, it comes down to the emotions and what they're dealing with in the moment. Looking back, I get it. But as a child, you're what did I do wrong? What's going on? I just want things to go back to the way. So that's always been my main focus. Is with this whole process is obviously this is just as much as Max's home as it is when he's at his mom's house.
Correct.
And when we make decisions about Max and his future and his well-being, we make those together as parents,
as a unit.
Right. And that's why, we've had great communication. We do the best we can.
Absolutely.
That's all you can do. And there has to be some form of flexibility.
Yeah.
There's going to be curveballs along the way, and it's how you deal with it as a co-parenting group.
Yeah. It definitely requires being a unit. It's me and Mike and Eddie we've definitely come a long way. I've been, obviously, with Mike for 9 years. So it's Tyler's 16. He just turned 16 in May, and it's been a road to get here. But the stronger the unit of, honestly, even me and Eddie agreeing, then for us, the 3 of us as a unit to co-parent it really requires me and Eddie to get along so that dynamic can be a full circle too.
Right. You don't want them to see the other side of what it can be when there are emotions where you can't control and you're trying to work it out as adults can.
Yeah. And you know that from experiencing it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's times where you see those moments, and that's when you're like, well, this isn't how mom and dad should be. Yeah. Handling what is going on here. And
Ty was adamant too. Yeah. You know what I mean? That it's I know you are so passionate about everything being as civil and copacetic and communicative as possible. Yeah. And Tyler, it's him watching us is when your child has to sit you and your ex down to say, you're affecting me by you two being assholes to each other, is a very humbling and grounding experience. Yeah. However, even with that, obviously we reacted to your point of what was in the moment and what was happening and whom and whatever was the factors. However, that humbling experience of, Ty having to say that is me and Eddie really didn't want him to be hurt.
Right.
And it was unfortunate that I had to arrive to that. But I guess it's even more to the point of what we're saying. It's just such a different journey and a different space. But to give you the utmost compliment is you are the best I know that really like sees the forest through the trees. And even if you're upset with something, you are able to just like keep it to yourself, or you tell me or whatever, so that it doesn't affect any of the other dynamic when I am not that way. I feel like I always call you after the fact for you to talk me like off the ledge. I already like jumped down and I'm sinking and, was like treading water to get back up. And you're like, why'd you say that shit? So, you know what I mean? Like you definitely are really good at being level-headed. And I really appreciate that about you and the good advice that you've given from your experiences. And yeah, I think that it's really important. And for our listeners, I'm sure there's so many people that can connect from the different aspect of how you grew up versus me and how we've had to co-parent with, getting remarried to someone and, or with, in my situation, like you married into, someone who already had a kid, the same as, Mike with me, that I already had to maintain that, except for I'm on the other side because I'm Darnell in that scenario. Right. So it's like, I'm not even your shoes.
Oh, there's definitely a difference with being the mom of the child that you're co-parenting versus me being the outside, quote unquote, mom.
Yeah. Let's get into this. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Let's get into this.
So immediately I think of, my biggest, when Dee and I were dating and it came up about meeting Max, I said, I want to meet Max, but with Max's mom.
Yeah.
Because in my eyes, I thought if I was in that situation, if someone who I know is going to be spending time with my child, I want to get to know them and I want to see how they interact with my child.
Yes. So
they came over for breakfast and it was Sarah and I instantly connected.
Yeah, she's lovely.
Max, we went to the park to get outside, and immediately he's like, so are you my mom now? And not like, are you my mom now, but like, do I call you mom?
Right, yeah.
And then I'm like, no, like...
Just Katie.
You've got your mom, like you can, we'll figure out a nickname for me, as time goes on.
Which is
KK.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how that's adapted, but it was just the instant child love of,
yes.
Hey, you're cool.
I feel safe. We're good.
We're good. Like, you keep that happy environment around. And so I feel like that was, coming in as the quote unquote outsider.
Yeah.
To come in to, obviously with Sarah's perspective and the situation, and then Max and then Dee. So I can't imagine. I put myself in the reverse shoes to be like, if I was the mom,
right?
And let's say my child was going over to someone, like there's so many different other instincts and thoughts, and all the voices in my head right now are like, we have so many different scenarios. Like, how do you even handle that? Like,
well, you already know. You already know. So
I know. I was just trying to keep the dynamic flowing.
Oh, yeah. You were trying to baby step me into this real, going to be real earnest world.
Trying to set you up.
So many bitches are going to be like, oh, so I'm like Ash. So, wow. Love the baby daddy and love that he's Tyler's dad. He has put me through shit. And in the realm of what you're saying is like, I'm the mom that he is bringing women around and that they're spending time with, and whether I was allowed to meet them or not, most of the time.
What do you mean you were allowed to meet them?
He would prevent me from meeting them. So there was just a few after we separated, and since I've been with Mike, and one was a tumultuous situation, and my kids, Tyler was with his dad, and with this girl and her kids, and that whole dynamic, and
like she had kids. of
Yeah.
her own.
Yeah. So that had its own realm of things. She
I
was
love how I'm asking questions like I don't know, but I don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know you want me
trying to help
you want me to
you.
land that plane. You know how many plans I have to land.
I'm just trying to make sure we stay on the manifest here, okay?
All right. Okay. All right. Wait,
Flight plan.
don't let me crash into the water.
No,
Okay.
There's no diverting here.
Okay. Got it. So, I mean, that had its own difficulty as a mom, and it took time, and there was a lot of toxicity of trying to want to understand their dynamic, and Eddie standing in the way of me not understanding, and it to be secretive. And I know there's so many women out there that have experienced what I have experienced, and it's really tough because like the mama bear is like, I birthed you from my loins. You do not get to go and hang out with another woman. That is what's the expectation? How are they going to treat him? But there is the dynamic of said dad who then plays a role into that to make it more complicated, or that there was the anger towards us separating or whatever the case. So, you know, that one's that. And then obviously the most recent that he is no longer with, but I actually never physically met her.
Oh, like in person?
Never. And Tyler lived.
They lived together, didn't
Yeah,
they?
and yeah, Tyler, well, you know, Eddie moved into her home where she had 3 children, and Tyler lived there, and we a week on, a week off, and I actually never met her in person.
Oh, I don't know if I could do that.
So that was very challenging.
Okay. Yeah.
And that space of it, and thank God that Tyler was older because he had a phone. So I at least had access to him and
to be able to touch base and connect
make
with
sure
him.
that he was good. So yeah, I mean,
I didn't even think of that side of it because like we didn't have cell phones growing up.
right.
So like when my dad would take us out on trips or vacations, like my mom wanted us to call
Yes.
when we landed, when we arrived.
Yes.
You know, because she was also nervous of us flying, but like she couldn't, that was the, like, unless she knew where we were going, she didn't, it's not like she could get a hold of us while we were on the road
Yeah.
or if we were traveling.
Yeah. I mean, I die at the thought of, of anytime I haven't been able to get a hold of Tyler,
didn't even think of that. Oh my
like
gosh.
sent me into a spiral of wanting to get a hold of him. Yeah. Just to know that he's okay. And not even in some scope that I thought that he wasn't okay.
But it's just to be able to know you can connect with him when you want to.
Or if he needed me or needed something.
Exactly.
Or wasn't comfortable, whatever the case
it's on
was.
his own device. And
yeah.
It's at his
so,
own term. Yeah.
So that he had that. And I think that it helped me to calm down in this last realm of relationship for his dad, for me to chill out.
Yeah.
Because at least I could, you know what I mean, have contact with Tyler. So yeah, it's really interesting the different dynamics that we have, but also are just such different experiences from your base being a kid and growing up in that, and then us sitting here actually kind of diving into some of this a little more like specific.
Yeah.
Not as if we haven't discussed these things, but to actually have this be this conversation for our listeners this is a different way than you and I have ever said anything about these topics to each other, you know? So it's definitely like some full circle even for us. It's like
and it's just
connecting the dots.
Yeah. Even with just 2 people here.
Yeah.
The different scenarios that we have. I mean, there's no handbook on co-parenting.
100%.
You have to go off of what other life experiences there are. And there's some people out there that want to share that information with you. And there's some people that don't. There's some people that try to hide or divert the fact that they're co-parenting.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Oh my God. Well, if you think back in the day, like there was just, even so, like there's people that try to, like, they don't want anything to do with the spouse or like the ex. Yeah. The dad or the mom.
Right.
I mean, I feel like it would be more, so the dad, it's just, I couldn't imagine a mother.
Yeah.
But it's
not as if there isn't both, but it seems like we consistently hear that realm. Yeah, well, I understand what you're saying.
I've found myself on weekends where I've gotten stuck on Lifetime movies and
Right.
Most of the time, the woman's a victim, and it's the man that was the one trying to run off or doing something. So
yes, for all of our male listeners,
Yes.
please, it's not something that is specific or pertinent to any of
Don't
you.
come at me, okay?
We're
like,
just saying.
Even like referencing like every 80s movie, the woman was always the victim.
Yes,
okay.
yes, yeah. It's not personal. It's just the reference point we have. So
Right.
yeah, but it's definitely like it's a challenging road. But I think as they get older, there's really some like beauty to me. Where I'm at now is like it's so much better that they're older. I think it's so much harder when they're younger. But now I'm just really good with the fact that I can reach out to him and contact him with his own phone, just as you guys can with
Yeah.
Max, but that you and Dee and Sarah co-parent, and me and Eddie and Mike do. So, you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel for anybody who is listening to us and connects to what we're saying or going through something similar. Is you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel. So
Yeah, well, and there's always different scenarios. There's not one that's easier or more manageable than the other. I mean,
listen, I feel like that is a daily thing. Okay.
Right?
Like some overall of like, oh yeah, it's always going to be managed. No, it's not. You are going to hate someone at some point. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
Like it's going to get there. There's going to be frustration,
well, yeah,
and it's just how you deal with it.
and the only key thing is that keep your children at heart in the decision that you make.
Yes.
You know, not only the decision that you make, but how you handle it.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
they see that too, whether you think or not.
Yes.
Whether you think they do.
Yeah, well, I learned that lesson the hard way, and I can say that it's very humbling to have your kid tell you that you and his dad's antics
Yeah.
are, you know, making him lose sleep.
Yeah, but you
So, yeah.
acted on it. You've
Both me and Eddie, yep, we corrected,
That's
and
what you can do. There's parents out there that hear that and they're like, "You're just a child. What do you know?"
yeah,
And they still handle it because they don't know how to process how they're handling it versus how they're handling it for their kids.
yeah, and you know, it's like to give kudos to Mike is Mike's been really fabulous with him. You know what I mean? Like really always really good to Tyler first and foremost, and always provided, and it was an amazing support system for him. But really like after we got through some of the heavy duty like separation of me and Eddie, and some of that like worked itself out. I mean, we had his 40th birthday at our house. So like we have overcome and gone over the hurdles together to get here. And, you know, Mike is a fabulous stepdad, and as you are a fabulous stepmom. And, you know, he absolutely deserves the most kudos. So, yeah, I definitely think that, you know, there's always going to be something. And I'm sure that, you know, we will touch on different things as we go along of different things that happen on our weekly and daily and whatever we want to share that happens. Happens to all of
And
us.
that's, you know, this was a topic to bring up our scenarios, and co-parenting doesn't have to be negative. It's not easy, but there's people here that are going through similar situations, and, you know, I'm interested, you know,
To hear.
you know, what your experiences are. So we appreciate you listening to our experiences, both growing up and now in our blended families. And hopefully you can take away something from that'll help you with your current life experiences. So thank you for listening. We love you
Yes.
guys.
Love you guys.